Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And with more news, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received the Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki at the Ittihadiyya Presidential Palace with an official reception ceremony with the two national anthems for the two countries were played, in addition to a show of guards of honor ahead of the leaders holding their talks. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your time, Your Excellency. Today, of course, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi received his Eritrean counterpart, and the two leaders had talks held. Several important topics were discussed between the two leaders. What can you tell me about the visit by the Eritrean president today, sir?
Very important, and the timing also is very important.
Yes.
in the time being. But our interest in Africa is go far beyond that. Since the pharaonic times, since Muhammad Ali Pasha and the River Nile discoveries, since Gamal Abdel Nasser when we established the African Union. So it is a long interest from both sides, Africa and Egypt. And the presence in Egypt is very obvious. We are represented in all the African countries. They look to Egypt with high appreciation. Our economic fund for development in Africa is quite active, but we need to double our forces. Now it comes to this country where it is very important for the security of navigation in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean and the Suez Canal. And it is a little bit threatened by the attitude of its neighbor. So very important that the two leaders to meet each other and to coordinate what can we do in order to make our life better concerning our security concerns and also our interests, whether it is economy or bilateral relations in the field of culture and the efforts of Al-Azhar al-Sharif and our Coptic church also. All these activities are on the table, and we are there in order to find how we can serve both the interests of the two countries and the African continent in general.
As a whole, indeed. Now, Your Excellency, the two sides also asserted mutual concern over the continuation of developing ties to achieve, of course, a deeper level of joint cooperation in the fields of trade and economy. Where do we lie now with regards to this, and what is being done in this regard, Your Excellency?
We did a lot of efforts concerning trade, and I think we cannot do much more. Because we started by establishing the COMESA countries of the East and South Africa. Then during the presidency of our president to the African Union in 2019, we decided to make one whole African free trade area of all the 51 African countries. It is huge free trade area. Now, my lesson, which I came after serving in several African countries, is the following. If you want to trade with Africa, you have to invest in Africa, because most of the commodities of Africa, especially the agricultural commodities which we need, it is dominated by foreign companies coming from Europe in general. So, I personally tried a lot in this concern. We tried to plant cereals and wheat in many African countries, and there are a lot of possibilities to do this. Let us try this, and I think that now we are in a much better situation where our president is meeting almost all his counterparts. Now he's receiving this very important leader of a very important country. And the sky is the limit there. But still Africa, it needs a lot to be done. It needs much better banking system. It needs much more better roads and ports and infrastructure, and the bureaucracy in Africa is in need of a big visit in order to make it much better than it's
Indeed,
before.
and Your Excellency always talks to me about the need for industrialization, the importance of developing industries in African nations, and Egypt has great expertise in this regard. How can friendly countries benefit from this?
Agree, fully agree, and in order to make things easier, we don't need huge investment. I am talking here about investing in the forestry, in planting wood and importing wood from Africa. I am talking about once a prime minister of one country called me, he said, I congratulate you that Egypt has this industry of canned foods, which Africa is in a great need for it, and it doesn't need huge investments. Many industries are already there, and we need to accelerate our proposal to the rich countries in order to come and to invest their money in Africa with the Egyptian experience, which is much better and much cheaper on the African soil. Two partners, which are China and the European Union, agreed on the idea on principle. Now what we need is to make solid proposals, go to the donors, and start doing the business.
Absolutely. Now, Your Excellency, the two leaders, the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and his Eritrean counterpart, also discussed joint cooperation in the security field, which, as you mentioned earlier, is very important in light of the developments in the region. What are some of the main mutual benefits in this regard for both Egypt and Eritrea?
It is very important for the whole world because the Suez Canal and the navigation in the Red Sea and the Mediterranean is the most important navigation road in the whole world.
Indeed.
And as you can well see that even the United States and United Kingdom now,
yes.
Germany also joined these efforts in order to stop any threat to the navigation in the Red Sea or the Suez Canal. We are doing this, and I hope in a very short period we shall be in full control of this problem.
Absolutely. Finally, Your Excellency, moving forward, where do you see room for growth with regards to Egypt and Eritrea and their ties, as well as areas of collaboration between the two countries?
We have many files to be discussed, whether it is agriculture, industry, services. We have to encourage our airway company to go there. We also hosting plenty of the students of Eritrea, whether in our universities or in Al-Azhar al-Sharif. Also, our church has a big role to play there because the Eastern Church has a very active role in many African countries. The sky is the limit, and we can do many things, but all what we need is to carry on and to make a sort of mechanism in order to follow what is going on.
Absolutely right. Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, Home Assistant to Foreign Minister, I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, for your time and your insight, for joining us today on Now TV International. With that,